Hi, my name is Anoriell and welcome to my channel. Here we do reactions, mostly on BL and GL content and mostly from Asian countries. But today we're doing something different. I promised you guys a Q&A and I said I was gonna do it in my channel updates. But then I started to go through the questions and I realized this is gonna be a long ass video. Sorry about the swear words. I thought, let's put this in a separate video if people want to reference to it, link to it, I don't know. So yeah, grab a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you like to drink and let's have a chat, I guess. So I received a few questions. I have also received questions during my year here on YouTube. Yeah, the channel is officially 1 year, I think today. It's 23rd of December. I didn't post my first video until the 28th though, so we have a few days left until, we actually posted the first video, which was not me, episode 1, if you wanted to know. A lot of things have happened during that year. We got better lighting, we got better mic, we got, I got a lot better at editing. Those first videos are, they're a bit cringy, even for me, even only after a year. But, it is what it is. I'm not gonna... You evolve, you learn, you do stuff differently. That's just how it is. That's kind of a little bit what this channel is about too. Learning stuff together with you guys. So yeah. Okay, so I got a few questions. So I just put them in the document in the order I found them. So these are not in any particular order. I will do chapters, so you might want to jump to your favorite question. I don't know. So first question. We hear a lot about your studies. What did you actually study? And how many years did it take? Okay, so this is a little bit complicated because Swedish university system doesn't work as the American one, the one you see on TV, So it's a little bit different. Our universities doesn't have majors. You don't major in a subject really in that way. Well, that's not entirely true. You can do, but most of the time you read what is called a program. So I studied for my bachelor a program that was called Society and Culture Analysis. I think the English title would be, which was a mix of 3 different subjects. It was a mix of culture studies, political science, and sociology. So for 3 years, those were the 3 subjects I studied in different courses. This particular program was also we didn't have written exams. Like, you go and write exams. You got a bunch of questions and you have to answer them in a certain amount of time. And there are hundreds of other people taking the exact same exam as you with the exact same questions. That program didn't have that. This was write essay and have debates kind of a exam program. So usually we wrote an essay, 4 to 10 pages on the subject, and either we have questions or we had to create our own scientific question and work within the boundaries of what we were actually studying. So a course could be the individual, the society, and social movements. So then you have to study social movements in one way, one form or any, and you had to write an essay around this. And then you either had a pre-structured debate forum where you got a subject that this is what we're going to discuss based on this literature and based on what we had learned in lectures. So you had to prepare for that, or you read someone else's essay and you debated your essays during these like round the table discussions, and you got graded for that. So that is kind of important to know, that that is how I studied for my bachelor's. And a bachelor takes 3 years. For me, it took a little bit longer. It took me... So yeah, this was the time of my life that was very rough because of stuff that happened. And a certain person that was involved in my life. So it was rough for me to try and finish my studies. And then I got pneumonia. And I got pneumonia, like I had pneumonia for 3-4 months before I actually got diagnosed with pneumonia, before they actually x-rayed my lungs and saw like, oh my freaking God, you have double-sided pneumonia. And I was like, okay, that might be why I'm out of breath and coughing until I'm puking. Yeah, so because of that, I missed like 4 months of school because I couldn't do anything. I was so sick. When I got to the hospital, like I tried to go to the doctors and they were like, oh, it's just a cold. Take a few pills, sleep on it. And it went on for that like months and months and months and months and months. And when one day I finally just got into the emergency room because I hadn't eaten anything for like a week. I couldn't keep any fluid in my body. So yeah. And they were like, oh my freaking God, what happened? How could it? It's just pneumonia. You should have been on like penicillin and you should have been fine. How could it be? Like, you're almost dying, girl. And I was like, I don't know. Ask the doctors. So yeah, I missed 6 months of school, more or less. So I got behind, which meant that the state withhold my money because I couldn't finish my courses. And you need to keep up with this course program for the state to give you money, because education in Sweden is free. You actually get paid to study. Well, you get paid and then you can take a very, very beneficial loan, like a very, very beneficial loan. I think it has like 0% interest, maybe 0.2 now with inflation, but a very long time it had negative interest. So each year I actually had to pay less because it had negative interest. So yeah, it's a very beneficial loan. But if you can't keep up with the work, if you fall behind, they will stop paying you and say, you need to show us that you finish all these courses before we give you money again. And you only have a certain amount of money. You can only take that loan for 6 years and no more. So they withhold my money. I wasn't finished with my bachelor. I was ending that very toxic relationship. And I was homeless. So yeah. And I didn't want to phone my parents and tell them that I was homeless, jobless, and I was, sleeping at friends' houses and or couches that I could find in wherever, and I was not washing my hair because I couldn't afford shampoo, and it was a very dreadful few months, and I didn't want to be seen as a failure. So yeah, I quit school and got a job, and I worked in a contact center, a call center, for 4 years. And then I said, F it, I'm gonna try and go back to school. So I always wanted to become a lawyer. And I was like, do I find it? What can I do? I don't want to quit my job if it's not gonna work with school. What can I do? So I took an evening course, a university evening course in law 101. And it was so much fun. I had missed studying so much, and I fell in love with the law. Like, I fell in love with the law. So I said, okay, I'm going to rack up all my vacation that I have left, everything, every save day and everything, which was 6 weeks. And I'm gonna ask, can I have 6 weeks vacation? Because normally you can only have 4 in the summer here in Sweden, but you couldn't ask for permission. So I asked, can I have 6 weeks of vacation from my work? And because I want to study these summer courses. So they said, okay, sure, because you're going to go and study. Fine, take it. So I studied economic law, like, wills, what happens if you divorce, stuff like that. So I think it's called Household Economic Law 101 or something like that. So I know all of that, how to calculate all of that, what happens in a divorce in Sweden, how do you calculate the assets. I know what happens when you die and stuff like that. How do you calculate the assets and who gets what and what can you do, how much can you testament away and how much do you have to give to your children and stuff like that. What happens if there are children that are born out of the marriage and there are children in the marriage, and how do you divide assets then? I know all of that. It's very, very good knowledge to have. And one of the reasons I know all of that is because when I ended my toxic relationship, I lost everything. I didn't have any rights to the home. I didn't have any money. He took all the money in the bank account. And, I had my clothes. That's it. I didn't have anything. Everything So I was like, I am never putting myself in that situation. Again, I need to know how to defend myself. And how do you do that? You learn the law. So that's what I did. I also studied, during that summer, I studied, what's it called in English? Let's see. Workers' law, labor law. How do a union work? How many hours are you allowed to work in a week in Sweden? What happens if you're sick? How do you take vacation and stuff like that? Because my employer at that time, a call center, they are not really known for their awesome workplace environments. No, it's a pretty shitty job, and I did it for 6 years in total. So I read all of that, and I was like, okay, I want to go back and finish my bachelor. I need this for myself. So I worked a little bit more, saved a little bit more money, and I contacted the school and I asked them, what do I need to do? How can I come back? What do I need to do? So they helped me. I did it. I wrote my bachelor degree essay and I got the highest mark on it. They were so impressed, and I remember I was sitting at because you need to present your essay, or I think it's called essay in English, a big paper, like I think it was 60 pages or something like that. So you need to defend it, and you have like this professor that works on it. So, and I remember sitting there and I was so nervous. And he looked at me, and the first thing he said was like, yeah, so I'm really a retired professor, but I still do this thing. I read people's essay and I grade them. And I just have to say that, this was the best freaking essay I think I read during my 40 plus year as a professor. Like, girl, you're not supposed to understand all of this in a bachelor. Like, yeah, I just wanted to say that. So now we can get on with the critique, but just so you know. I'm like, okay, I think I passed. So if you want to know what my bachelor essay was about. It was actually a discourse queer analytic essay where I looked at around 4,000 debate articles around polyamory in Sweden, and how do we look at polyamory versus regular marriage or regular relationship in media, and specifically in the debate climate in Sweden. And I used Foucault discourse analytics for that. And that is one of the, and social constructism. So yeah, and that is kind of the basis of all my essays I wrote during my bachelor degree. Like, they were all pretty much rooted in queer theory, in media analytics. I loved watching like media and analyze it with stuff. So a lot of queer theory. Not always American queer theory, though. We have a pretty large queer theories here in Sweden, like Fanny Amberson. And yeah, we got a few pretty famous queer theorists here in Sweden. So I use a lot of their work, because a lot of the stuff I was analyzing during my bachelor were in a Swedish context. Because if you didn't know, I am Swedish. I am not an American. I have never been to the States. I have friends that are American. I lived with Americans when I lived in Spain, but I have never been there. I have, yeah, I have an American accent because, as I said, I have lived with Americans, but I have never been. I've never been in a relationship with an American either. So, yeah, just get that out there. I am not an American. I am very much Swedish, people. Swedish. I am European, North European. So yeah, that was my bachelor, and a little bit about my life during that time and what happened. This is pretty much how this entire Q&A is gonna go. So that's why I said it's gonna be a long ass video. So yeah, then I studied more law because I really loved law. So I studied a few courses in law. Think I'm up to almost a bachelor degree in law. Well, I am up to a bachelor degree in law. I just haven't written an essay because I don't like writing essays. They are hard and they take time. And I hate being judged on my essays. Like, it's hard. It's hard, people. And then I was like, okay, but I want a master's. I really want a master's. So I am missing like a subject, so I can't go to law school. From my high school diploma, I am missing a subject that would grant me access to law school. I think it's math, a course in math or something. I have only the A and the B course, and you have to have the C course or something. I don't know why you have to have the C course when you read. I don't know, but you have to. It's just the way it is here in Sweden, and I don't have that. So, and I suck at math, which is pretty funny because I live with a mathematician. But I seriously suck at math. But yeah. So what can I do? What can I read? What can I study a master in? Political science. Political science is fun. One of my dreams was becoming a diplomat. Let's study political science. So I studied political science and got a master's. Now, I did that doing the same thing. Analyzing media. One of my favorite essays that I was super proud of is actually analyzing Swedish diaspora in the Swedish-American TV show Everything for Sweden, where American descendants from Swedish immigrants come to Sweden and is part of this super ridiculous reality show where they can win a party with their extended, like with their Swedish part of their family. So yeah, and they get like this family tree and history about their family, and they get to visit places where their family is from, and you know, all of it, reconnect with their Swedish heritage. It's super, it's a really nice show, but it's as a Swedish person, it's a little bit, because we seriously hate having to spend time with like your extended family, cousins and stuff. I don't think I met my cousins in like years. I have like 18 of them or something. I think I know the name of 3 of them, to be honest. And if you go down a step, their children, like I don't know. But I know I have a lot of them on my mom's side, but I haven't seen them since I was 10. And I don't think I met all of them. And I probably won't. Now I look like a carbon copy of my mom. So if they ever find me on YouTube, and I look my mom looked like a carbon copy of her mom. And every female that is descendant of like my grandma looks like a carbon copy of everybody. So we look like a carbon copy. That I know, because we look so alike that we could have been siblings. Because I met, like, as I said, I met one of my cousins on my mom's funeral. And yeah. So I started a master. And then I was supposed to start a doctorate in political science. I also took the test to become a diplomat. We discussed that in Not Me. There is almost the exact same process here in Sweden. I made it to like the final rounds, but yeah, it's hard. And by that time, I was starting to set down roots. I had like a long time boyfriend, and I was just like, I don't want to go 4 years abroad now. It's not gonna fit my lifestyle. Sorry. It's not my dream anymore. But it was fun. It's hard, but it's cool. So I was supposed to start a doctorate, but I was like, no. I want money. Like, I want to earn some money. So, dumbest decision ever. So I didn't take my doctorate. I never did. I took like 1 course. So that's why you never hear me say that, you know, I'm a PhD student or I have a PhD degree or whatever, because I don't. I took like 1 course, and I'm not going to lie about that. It's just, nope. My professor still asks me sometimes, no, we have this opening. Aren't you sure you're coming back? You should. Yeah, but I do YouTube instead. I do the same thing on YouTube, people. So yeah. And during my master's, I continued to study a lot of law courses. So yeah, that was my early 20s, mid 20s, more or less. And a lot about my life during that time. Now, I also got a question. So what do you do now? Do you do reactions full time? No, I don't do reactions full time. It's a hobby. I do it because I like it. I like having the community. I like creating a community. I just got YouTube partner. So a month ago, so far, I have earned 10 cents. 10 American cents. YouTube doesn't pay reactors a lot. Like, if you want to support your favorite reactor, go and sign up for their patrons. That's how they earn money. But for me to be able to quit my current job, I would probably have to be up around 500 patrons, 400 patrons. And I'm not even sure I want to quit my current job because I like it. But you know, if I was gonna live on this, I need like 400 or 500 patrons at least, because, you know, we have Swedish taxes that you have to take account for. So yeah, at least, probably more. That is not happening anytime soon. I think I have 13 patrons right now. I love you guys. You are my heart, my soul. You support me. You share me on, and I adore my patrons. I never put their names on the screen. And yeah, I didn't get a questions about this, but I can get into why. Because I work as a privacy lawyer now. Like, I work as a data protection officer, which is something that is, if you're in the UE, you know what GDPR is. You know what a DPO is, probably. You know what a data protection officer is. Hopefully, you know. But it's a thing that exists because of a EU law that is called GDPR, which stands for General Data Protection Regulation. Basically, it's a law about your data on the internet and your right to privacy. It's a law that is based on human rights, that, you know, your own government are not allowed to you have the right to a private life, even from your government, and most definitely from private companies. So it's a law that tries to protect the data on the internet, because there is a data war going on out there. Your personal information is so valuable to a lot of companies. It can literally affect elections and stuff. We have I don't know if people remember Cambridge Analytica scandals, but I certainly do. But that's because it's part of my job. Which basically said that, you know, the whole Brexit thing was pretty much rigged because of personal information that this thing got a hold of and could rig the information so people would vote the way they wanted. And we know this as someone who has read, you know, political science and sociology. I know this for a fact. Like, look at Germany. Look what happened in Germany. We know that it is absolutely possible through media to affect how you what you think about the world, and what you think is wrong and right morally, and what you can accept and not accept. And, you know, so your personal information is something that is so valuable, so valuable. So my job is to say to my company, no, think of your workers right. You are not allowed to do this. That is basically my job, to yell at the bosses. And sometimes I sit in negotiation with like big companies, like American companies and that I work with. That is what I do. And it takes at least 40 hours of my day work or my week. On top of that, I am polyamorous and I am queer. We're going to get into that a little bit. Next question. So I have more than one partner. I also have a kid that lives with us like not full time, but half time. What do you say? Like every week, every second week, I think it is. Like, you know, 1 week there at the other parent and 1 week here. Back and forth. So, and I mean, we co-parent a lot. So, we co-parent. So if they can go to wherever the child needs to go, I take them or someone else take them. Usually it's me because I am the one with the driver's license. So yeah, I'm busy. I have a life, a big life with a lot of things going on. YouTube is not like, you know, it's a pretty big part of my life now because I love it. It's something I have dreamed about doing, but yeah. Which leads us a little bit into the next question. A lot of these questions kind of go hand in hand, so I'm rather telling a story than just shopping off questions. Hope you are with me so far. Why did you start a YouTube channel? So yeah, I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for like ages. Different topics. I thought I was gonna play games because I was an e-sporter years and years and years ago, like in the beginning of e-sport. It was rough being a female e-sporter, like rough. The toxic masculinity that I had to listen to and be put through was like, yeah. But it made me, you know. So I was hesitant to start a YouTuber because I know as a girl, showing your face, being out there, you're never gonna get away from it. And playing games as a girl, you know, there's always gonna be that boy that say, why? You can't. You suck. Sorry, boys. So yeah. Then I was home. I was out of a job because of reasons. I was home. I was out of a job, and I was burned out. So I didn't want to apply for a new job. I needed time to recuperate. I had just lost my mom very abruptly. It was COVID. It was a lot of things. But I applied for getting like streaming equipment, like a webcam, a computer, a mic, and stuff like that. From this thing that wanted more females in streaming, females and queer people. So yeah, I did that. I applied for it. I told them why I wanted it. That my computer sucked. I am a female. I am queer. I have done this before, like esport and stuff, and I want to do this. And they granted me a computer. So I actually started on Twitch. I twitched for like a month and a half. And during this time, I was watching a lot of TV shows. All the TV shows. All the time. Like, I had been home for 2 years and I had watched like TV shows constantly during these 2 years because my therapist told me that, you know, you need to do stuff that is fun, that you relaxes you, and yeah. So I watched TV series. And I was like, okay, but what can I do with that? My studies, my love for storytelling, because before I started university, I studied acting during middle school and high school. I went to like an acting middle school and an acting high school. I took regular subject, but as extra subjects, I took acting. So what can I do with this? And I watched reactors and I was like, don't I have all the equipment to do that now? I wanted to start a YouTube for years. I love good storytelling or storytelling in general. I have like these degrees in media, culture, political science, and law, which focuses on queer theory and, you know, media discourses. Couldn't I combine them and become a reactor? How hard can it be? I literally thought that. How hard can it be? So I did. And that's how Anoriell React started. And it helped me get that last push from my burnout. It was exactly what I needed. So when a friend of me called me up and asked, are you ready to get back to the workforce? Do you want, like, are you interested? We talked about this a few years ago, that you wanted to maybe come and work at the company I work at. Are you interested? And I was like, heck yeah. And that's how I landed my current job in April of this year. So yeah. What else did you ask? Yeah. Are you queer? I don't know if that was exactly how they said the question, but that was basically the question. Yes, I am queer. I know I present like a very feminine, like a feminine girl. And today I am a very feminine girl. Like, I am okay with that today. But there were years during my teenage years that I hated being a girl. I hated it so much. I despised it. Hated everything that came with it. Like, most of it wasn't that I was unhappy with my body. Part of it was, but most of it was the way society treated girls, like what I was expecting to do. I hated constantly hearing when I grew up, like, you are such a tomboy. You can't do that. Girls can't do that. Stop doing that. I remember my mom told me that, I could come home from school and tell them, like, they said I couldn't climb the tree because I'm a girl and I need to take care of my clothes. And she was like, well, girl, we have a washing machine. You do whatever you want. So I did. And that's the answer I get them. And that's what I'm teaching my kids today. Like, we have a washing machine. Be a child. Be dirty. I can wash your clothes. Just go and have fun. So yeah. I hated being a girl. I hated that society pressured me to be something I didn't feel comfortable with. Couldn't say the words I wanted. I couldn't sit the way I wanted. I wanted to sit like a boy. I wanted to manspread. I wanted to take up space. I wanted to be able to tell my opinion and be listened to and be taken seriously. I hated everything with being a girl. So I shot my hair really short and I started to bind my breasts, like trying to tuck them in as tightly as I could. And I acted like a boy for years. And no one was fooled because my body is like, I have always had pretty large breasts. So even if I tried, I could never get them to disappear. They just got smaller. I could never get them to completely disappear. I have like this hourglass figure. You don't see a lot of it, but I have like this hourglass figure. I was always overweight, so but I have an hourglass figure even when I was overweight. So I was still a girl, but a very boyish girl. And then I was like, I don't know. I wanted to be liked. So, and transforming to another gender was not something that people talked about in my generation. So somewhere around my 20s, I stripped myself naked in the mirror and started looking at my body and trying to come to terms that this was the body I was born with. This was the gender I was born with. I have to accept that. I have to start feeling okay with that. This is hard. Sorry. I have to start to embrace that. I am a girl. And if I don't like how society view girls, let's speak up about that then. Let's try and change that then. If I can't change myself, let's try and change society. Because that is easier. So yeah, I accepted that I'm a girl. Because I felt like I had no other choice. And I still feel like that sometimes, like, that, yeah, I can be super girly. Like, I never wear makeup, but I can be super girly. I love my long hair today. Now, I love wearing skirts and dresses and feeling pretty. I love that. I still hate how society view girls. I still hate that when I walk into a room, I know people are not going to listen as much as if I was a man. I hate it. I hate it so much. But I'm not uncomfortable with my body anymore. I am not uncomfortable saying I'm a girl. I'm uncomfortable with the labels that it brings. But as I grow older, I realized that that might be a slightly different experience than me transgendering into a male. But yeah. So that's my story about my gender. I am also pansexual. So yeah, I like both genders, and there is a rather sad story about that, or both genders. I like everybody. I don't care. Like, I don't really care. I don't care if you're transgender or male or female or whatever. I like people's brains, people's hearts, their souls, if you want. That's what I like. When I sought out the queer community in my teens and told them that, I think I'm a bisexual, the amount of phobia I got, like, you are not welcome. You have to decide. Either you're a lesbian or you are straight. You can't be bisexual. You can't. That's what I heard. I was not welcome at all. So I shut that down. Like, I still had crushes. I still made out with my best friend every chance I got because she was hot. I used every excuse in the book. But I stopped kind of calling myself bisexual. I said I might be bi-queerious. I am straight mostly. And stuff like that. It wasn't until like 2 years ago I started calling myself pan or bi again. Because I got so reacted. So that's why, everybody talks about that not me seen with the pride flag and how amazing that was for them to see that in a TV series. For me, the pride flag, it takes me back to my youth. It takes me back to that. Yeah, they had like this gathering community center thing where they had like, they're queer. It takes me back to that place where, they just looked at me and said, you're not welcome here. You're not queer enough. We don't want you. We reject your. And the same goes for the straight community. When I, talked to them about it, they were like, yeah, no, we don't like lesbians. You have to be straight. You're not welcome here otherwise. So once again, I had to like choose. And I took the road of least resistance. Unfortunately, that's what I did. I confined myself in this box and I said, okay, I'm going to try and live the straight life. It didn't work, people. It didn't work. But, that's what I did. So to me, my relationship with the queer community is tainted with a lot of bad memories as well. And that is why I think BL was such a big thing. Why BL reactions? Why do I do that? Like, because I wanted to reclaim my own queerness. I wanted an outlet where I could talk about it and just say like, F it. This is my story, my truth. Me. Take it or leave it. I don't care. I'm done caring. Like, that's, yeah. That's how we ended up here. I heard you have a disease. You refer to you being sick. Can you elaborate? Okay, so yeah, I have an autoimmune system. It will probably kill me one day. Trigger warning, I guess. So, yeah, I have something that is called systematic mastocytosis. I think you say in English. Let's see. Did I not? So, yeah. I will read off the Mayo Clinic because that is what the first Google response is. So, systematic mastocytosis is a rare disorder that results in too many mast cells building up in your body. A mast cell is a type of white blood cell, which means that this is actually a form of leukemia. Mast cells are found in the connective tissues throughout your body. Mast cells help your immune system function properly and normally help you to protect you from disease. This is also why you will hear me complain about lack of energy. I'm sick again. I'm sorry. Because my immune system is a bit fucked up. So when you have systematic mastocytosis, excess mast cells builds up in your skin, bone marrow, digestive tract, and other body organs. When triggered, these mast cells release substances that can cause signs and symptoms similar to allergic reactions. So I think you can see, I don't know if you can see it. I will check on my camera. Can you see that little, that mark there? That is because I'm having a mast cells reaction right now. So that little brown bluish thing is it's a skin rash. It will go down in a few hours maybe, or tomorrow. I don't know. So yeah, I get those a lot. I think you might have seen like a few videos ago. I had like, no, on this arm, I had like a brown long thing here. I swell up in my face. That is why you sometimes will see my face super skinny and sometimes it's like big and round. Yeah. It's just, I can look like I've dropped 10 pounds from one day to another. It's just, it is what it is, people. It is what it is. So yeah. And sometimes severe inflammation may result in organ damage. Common triggers include alcohol, spicy food, insect bites, and medication. So that affects everything in my life. There is not a single perfume product in my home. I don't wear perfume. There is no scents. There is nothing that smells like perfumey anywhere close to me, because if smells can trigger migraines that are insane for me. So yeah, that is just gone. I can't wear makeup. There are like maybe 80, 100 things that I can eat. And when I say things, I mean like, carrots, cucumber. Turn out like your regular butter in your store. Look at the like ingredient list. I promise you, it's at least 4 or 5 things. 2 of them I can probably not eat. So yeah, I can't eat dairy. I can't eat gluten, which, those are pretty big. And when I mean dairy, I mean every type of dairy. Goat, cow, every type. Nope, can't have it. What I love though is ginger, turmeric, garlic, because those are all anti-inflammatory foods and mast cells calming foods. So all my food has like an accent. Like you probably heard me talk about my ginger tea, because that is like me drinking medicine. That is me literally drinking medicine. I have to take antihistamine tablets, at least 2 every day, but usually I'm like on 4, just to get by, just to be breathing, have energy, not have super itching or bloating or stomach issues. Yeah. And before every meal, I have to like drink this little concoction 15 minutes before I eat, just so I won't like have severe stomach pain. It helps my everything in my bowels to be balanced a little bit, at least. So a little bit, it's still a thing, but yeah. So that is my disease. I could die from an anaphylactic shock. Even though I don't get a allergic reaction. I'm not allergic. I get allergic reactions, which is weird because yeah, it's a whole thing. Try to explain it to a doctor and they go like, eh? If they don't know what this disease is, everybody will go like, huh, what are you talking about? That's not possible. But it is in my case. So yeah, it's rare. It's pretty rare. So yeah, that was that. I might live to 100. I might die tomorrow from an anaphylactic shock. Most likely I will die a little bit earlier from organ failure. Yay, I have a ticking time bomb, but who hasn't? But I think that might be one of the things why I want to do stuff really, really like now. Because I feel like, my time is limited. I want to make an impression. I want to do it now. I don't want to wait. So I'm super ambitious in everything I do. Like, I can't do anything halfway. I need to do it like big and grand. And yeah, that's just how it is. So yeah, that's that. Why do I like BLs? Yeah, we got into that a little bit because I wanted to reclaim my queerness, and I felt like it was a space where I could feel queer without being questioned. I could relate without being questioned. And I also like it because, the males are not your typical males. So as a feminist, I like it from that point of view as well. Like, they celebrate femininity and feminine men. At least, if you talk BLs like yaoi, which is where I started, like Sean and I, like manga, that's where I started. That was my gate into BLs. So, yeah, that's just, and then live adaptation happens, and I just continue being that. Okay. Let's see. How many languages do you know and why? Okay, so here's the thing. I am Swedish, so my regular language is Swedish. Hej, mitt namn är Anoriell. Välkommen till min kanal. So that was Swedish. I grew up on the west coast of Sweden. I don't live there anymore, so don't try and find me, but I grew up on the west coast of Sweden, and we sailed a lot, and I had a lot of Norwegian friends. So jag snackar inte norsk, men jag förstår norsk, och jag snackar svorsk. So that was Norwegian, because I talk a little Norwegian, but mostly I talk something that is called svorsk, which is a mix of Norwegian and Swedish. It's a whole thing. Because of that, I can understand Danish pretty well. Sometimes, depending on how well I'm hearing that day, I guess. And because I did go to Swedish, normal school, I had to learn English at a pretty early age. Like, I think we start in 2nd grade or something. I also know a bit of German because as a Swedish person in school, you have to learn a 3rd language. We're a little crazy like that. So, and usually nowadays you can pick from a lot of different languages. But when I grew up, during the dinosaur era, you had like 3 choices: Spanish, French, and German. That's the 3 big ones in Europe. So I choose German for some freaking reason. Why? I have no idea. Thought it was gonna be the easiest because it's the closest, I guess. I don't know. I was a bit of a lazy kid. So yeah, I knew German. I even had a German boyfriend. But Entschuldigung, ich spreche nicht Deutsch. Sprechen Sie English? That's kind of it now. Yeah. And then I moved to Spain to learn Spanish. And I was fluent in Spanish. Like, I learned fluent Spanish. Hola, me llamo Anoriell. Hablo un poquito español. And I lived in south of Spain, so I even had an accent when I spoke, because in south of Spain, in Seville, where I lived, they shortened the word because they speak so fast there, so fast. I usually have, like, when I watch Spanish movies and stuff, I have it on 1.25 because I am so used to Spanish being super fast. And yeah, notice my hand movements when I start to speak about Spanish because, I was fluent. So I had the hand movements as well. So, yeah, I lived there, but I lived in an international dorm. So we were like 12 people living in a house. 5 of those people were Dutch. And Dutch is actually like kind of close to German. And I still remembered a few of my German lessons. But with, like, when you figure it out, it actually has like a Norwegian, Swedish sound melody to it. So when I figured that one out, I started to understand what they were talking. I couldn't answer them back in Dutch. No, absolutely not. But they could never hide what they were talking about from me anymore, because I was like, no, you didn't. Stop saying that to her. And they were like, what? How do you understand us? And I'm like, I don't know. I just do. So yeah, I understood Dutch for a while. I don't know if I would now, though. So that was Spanish and Dutch. And then, as I said, I started, I trained Aikido and Iaido for a lot of years, which is a Japanese thing. So through that, I learned a little bit of Japanese. I also loved manga and anime when I was growing up. So through that, I learned to understand a little bit of Japanese. Not a lot. Like, again, I can understand like a regular conversation. I might be able to like ask for the price or something. I don't know, if I studied up a little bit before going to Japan. But that's about it. And I have, like, other than saying arigato gozaimasu and stuff like that, I never spoke it. So, yeah. Then we have like my 6,000 hours of listening to Mandarin. Again, I can't speak it. Don't ask me to answer back in Mandarin. But I understand regular Mandarin. Like, I can... The other day I was like on the bus and there were like these Chinese exchange students at the university, because we have a pretty big university where I live. And I was like, they're talking about this. But they got this wrong. I should tell them. So I was like, excuse me, do you understand English? Yeah. You got this and this wrong. You should go off on this and this and this station. And they were like, what? Did you understand that? And I was like, yep, I did. Sorry about that. I wasn't meaning to listen into your conversation. I was just happy to hear Mandarin. So, and then I realized that you were going off on the wrong bus station. So I thought I should butt in. I'm sorry. And they were like, okay, thank you. Like, here comes this super white chick. So yeah. I can't give directions or anything in Mandarin, but I could understand that, okay, they were going to this place and they were trying to find direction for it and they were wrong and I could help them. So, somewhere along the line, I picked up something, apparently. And the same goes for Thai. Like, I forget sometimes to put on subtitles and I go like, oh shit, I reacted to this for an hour now without subtitles. Oh, well, they will never know because I put them on during when I edit this. So they will never know. They will never know. So sometimes I have reacted to stuff without putting out on the subtitles. Sometimes it's harder because the conversations are a lot deeper. But sometimes I get fined by fine. It has happened. It has happened. So yeah. Usually if I do that, I double check the episode again and I'm going like, oh yeah, no, I understood. No. Okay, never mind then. Let's just go with it. So yeah, somewhere along the line of me watching all these freecast dramas, I picked up some languages along the way. Which, I might want to buy a textbook and start studying for real because my Thai stops at around speaking ability stops around Sordika, Sanche, Anoriell. And I'm not sure about this Shanshu, I think, pronunciation. And I know that you don't ask how are you because you say Sabaidimaka. It's like, is everything cool? But you don't actually ask anybody that in Thailand. You ask, have you eaten yet? And I'm trying to remember what that is now, but I don't want to look it up because that is cheating. I think it is something like larang. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. But that's about it. That's where it ends, people. That's where it ends. I can't speak languages if I go there and listen to people and immerse myself in it. Usually I'm pretty fast to pick it up. I forget it just as fast when I get home. That's the case with my Spanish. I haven't spoken it for years. So I don't remember anything anymore. It's gone, people. It's gone. Just, yep, bye. Which is, sad. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so what storylines do you like the most? Oh, hard one. Because I kind of I have 3 separate favorite things. I like fantasy supernatural stuff. Like time loops, time travel, different universes, stuff like that. Love that. Eat it up. Every type of drama. Love it. There is probably not an American fantasy show that has gone out the last... Yeah, that I haven't watched. And especially if it's set in a modern setting. I don't know. I like medieval and, stuff like that as well. But fantasy in a modern fantasy in a modern setting, it's extra intriguing to me. Uh, and then I have these, these real stories, like slice of life stories, where they very much depict real life. It's not glossy rainbows and butterflies and everything is happy and everything has to have a happy ending. I don't mind unhappy endings. Actually, it's one of my favorite things. Like, I love a series that can make me cry like no other. Like, yeah. I just like having my heart squeeze until I die, almost, from sorrow. Like, I don't mind that at all. I love tragic stories. I'm sorry, I do. I love melodrama. I really, really do. Like, there is something about that, watching for hours and hours and just feeling that hold on your heart getting tighter and tighter, and you just break down. Because it's so sad. Someone dies, or, whatever. It is just so sad. I love those dramas. Those are the dramas that stick with me, that I can't let go of, where I remember the characters, I remember how I felt. Like, yeah, I think for me that is one of the best part with Make Our Days Count. I know everybody else like, let's skip over the last episode, it feels so unnecessary. I'm like, that made a whole show. I love that drama even up until the last episode, but I love it even more because of that ending. Like, I am weird that way, I know, but I love like a drama that can make me cry, like really, really cry, feel something. I guess that's it. I want to feel stuff. Just the worst thing for me is when I feel like, ugh, I don't feel anything. I'm not happy. I'm not sad. I'm just meh. Why do I bother? What's the point? I want to feel stuff. I want to experience stuff. What's the bloody point? I am not connecting. Then you lost me. If I can't even get mad at a drama because I don't care, that's the worst. Like, that's the worst. Then you lost me. Like, lost me. And then I love the fluff. Like a good fluff series that I can just relax to. Laugh a little and just feel overjoy. Where there is rainbows, butterflies, unicorns. Everything is happy and covered in tons of glitter. Rainbow glitter, because queer. I will eat. I will watch it. I will be there and I will be like, oh, I love it. It's so cute. Yeah. So that's me. I'm a little bit of everything. If you could find the perfect balance with all of these three, you will probably produce my favorite show. But I don't think you will. I think they need kind of, yeah. So but yeah. What kind of community do you wish to create among us subscribers? Oh, I want a pretty open community, like where we can discuss things a little bit deeper, go in a little bit more depth about the characters and stuff. Not like, I don't want to shame anybody, because I adore whatever comment you leave, even if it's just like, loved it, thank you. But I really love the long comments. Like, I love them. I know people like say, oh, I'm sorry, this is such a long comment. And I'm like, you go. I'm going to read all of this. I love them. I love hearing your thoughts. What you thought when you think like, you're off the world, girl. What the heck are you talking about? I don't agree with anything. As long as you are like respectful with that and say, I didn't get what you were saying because I felt this and this and this and this because of this and this and this. And I'm like, oh yeah, I get your point. I see what you mean. I love that. That is what I want. Like, I want an exchange of experiences because we are from different culture. We are from different experiences. We have different traumas in our life, different happiness, different, we are still people. And I think the best combatant to hate and stuff is to just talk, to communicate with each other in an open environment where it's okay to have different opinions in a respectful manner, where there is like, you're wrong just because you think this. No, you have a different opinion and you felt safe enough to express it. Yay! Like, that's what I want. I don't want the comment section full of, oh, women shouldn't be in BL. No, I don't want like queer hate. I don't want misogyny, and I don't want, toxic masculinity, and I don't want spoilers. I hate spoilers. But I love hearing your opinion. I really love hearing your opinion. I adore your long ass comments. And I know sometimes I haven't been the best to answer it, but I go back and read them sometimes and I'm like, yeah, I agree with this. Why didn't I think of that? This is pretty good. And I grow as a human. I learn stuff. And I hope you learn stuff by watching me, hearing me talk. Like, this is going to be such a boring video. You're going to sit here for over an hour and just seeing me talk. I am sorry. Put it up as a podcast episode. I don't know. Do whatever you want. It's not a video. It's a podcast. So yeah, that's kind of the community I want. I want a safe space for no matter gender you are, to openly feel like you can express your opinion in a respectful manner. That's the community I want. And I hope we can create that. Okay, so what else did we have? Will you do a live? Yeah, if people want me to do a live, we can do a live. That would be cool. I don't know what we would do during a live, but yeah, sure. And last question. What is your next milestone? Like numbers of subscribers or something? Oh, I don't know. I wanted 1,500 subscribers before the year ends. We still have a few days, and like, how many are we up to? 197. So we have a little bit ways to go, unfortunately. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. I'm not sure if we're gonna get it, but you can hope, you can dream. After that, I don't know. I kind of want to do this full time, but as I said, that is a dream far off in the future, probably. Because I don't know how I would make that financially stable and generate enough money to keep up with my lawyer salary. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we have to find a new goal. Maybe 2,000 subscribers before 2023. That's just 500 though. I don't know. I have to think about it. But yeah, that's it. This is gonna be one long video. I am sorry. Thank you if you're here to the end. Thank you so much for listening in. I don't know. We should do one of those comment this if you was at the end thing, but I can't think of anything, so skip that. Or just comment this if you listened to the end, so I know you listened to the entire thing. Thank you everybody for an amazing first year. I will still do a channel update normal somewhere in the beginning of next year. I will be on vacation, not filming until the 28th of December. starting kind of now. I have a few things pre-filmed, so I might you might not notice on YouTube. But yeah, just be warned that it will be a little bit deep of production now. Okay, that was it. My voice is finished. I will talk to you next time. Bye.